Captain's log. I appear to have forgotten to write another one again. I hear if I do that again, I'll get demoted. I don't even know what my rank is. Where are my pips? On Thursday of last week, I released the 39th exhibition of Stupid People. One of the last stories I covered centered around Jake Paul. The reason why is because there were videos of him circulating around Twitter taken from people's Snapchats, of him appearing to be at the protests. Those videos, though, do only show him at distance in locations, but there was one of them that turns out he did in fact do something he shouldn't have. But in all the videos shown and seen, you can quite clearly tell he did not steal anything. In response to all the videos circulating, Jake Paul made a 7-minute video where he himself shows clips of what he documented, air quotes around that word, showing what he intended to do, with the evidence somewhat supporting what he was claiming, that being to document all of this for a video. We'll get to that later because, yes, he seems to have a track record. His brother, upon finding out about this, condemned it. Logan Paul, for those who don't know, seems to have changed everything. His approach to YouTube is more mature, and he condemned his brother for being there. Because he was there, he can easily be tarred with the brush of looter, rioter, protester, and committing illegal acts, which, oddly enough, coincides with why I'm making this video, because not 2 hours later, upon releasing the 39th exhibition of Stupid People, Jake Paul was arrested. Yes, he was arrested because he was in a mall that had been broken into by other protesters. He had gone in as well. Jake Paul appears to not have learnt any lessons at all. Then again, we can add it to the list of very, very bad things he has done recently, and further cements the idea, I believe, that KSI really does need to knock all his teeth out. Fingers crossed we get that at some point towards the end of this year if we're lucky. The other thing that took place was that on the video Jake Paul made called The Looting Situation Explained (deleting soon), well, it's been 6 days, you haven't done it yet, are you in prison? He linked a fundraiser. Well, the fundraiser wasn't his, yet he took all the credit for it, raising money. Quite a bad tactic, don't you think? I will admit, if you are why some people donated towards it, sure, go ahead and take some credit. But you didn't create it, and you didn't tell anyone who actually did. Bit of a dick move, don't you think? I mentioned that Jake Paul likes to make documentaries, apparently. The reason why is because when he was arrested, there was a guy behind the police officers and him with handcuffs on, holding a camera. Either for documentation to prove that he didn't resist arrest, or because they're going to make a video on it. I'm sure it'll do fantastic for your numbers, which are slowly but surely dwindling, because unlike your brother, you haven't changed. And that's the problem. You can talk about being in support of things like Black Lives Matter. You can go to the protests as lending support, as an ally. But because of the people you were seen with, those that were breaking into businesses, those that were destroying property, you will be tarred with the brush, courtesy of guilt by association, of being one of them. No doubt you will be fined just for being there. If not just for being there, then for the bottle of vodka you were given, that you did explain you had put down. I will concede you did say that and you showed it. However, it was still in your possession. Therefore, I think you need to pay someone's tab. The funny thing that really stood out to me about all of this, the part that actually kind of gets under my skin, is the fact that you went to it, the protests and the peaceful demonstrations that is, air quotes wherever you want them to be, to document it. Because in your mind, the one thing you wanted to do more than anything wasn't to show support, if there was any support worth giving, either to Black Lives Matter or I believe it's all cops are bastards. No. Your view was, but them sweet views, right? That sweet ad revenue, right? Which I think is a tad selfish. But at the same time, I can respect why someone would want to. But in reality, does that excuse float with the police if you then have to submit and surrender all the information you yourself obtained to then try and prove that you weren't being, let's say, unlawful? because part of me suspects, because you only showed us a few clips within the 7-minute 48-second video you made talking about your involvement, that they were well-chosen clips, and I'm sure the police would love to get their hands on the rest of it. So back to the arrest. What was Jake Paul charged with? He was charged with a misdemeanor for trespassing, along with unlawful assembly, after those same videos showed him, air quotes, participating in the looting. But as I said earlier, I don't believe he was looting. I do tend to agree that perhaps he was doing it just to record it, but I think his reasoning for doing that was faulty. As both those charges are misdemeanors, I think we all know here what the sentence should be. Because it's Jake Paul, the sentence should be life without parole. And you all think I'm joking. No, of course, misdemeanors, he'll get off without any trouble whatsoever. He might get a fine if he's lucky, or if we're lucky. Whether you're a fan of Jake Paul or not, this situation reeks of bad optics, and there isn't a version of it where he looks good, because he himself has been tarred with a brush that would take years to clean. It's why when you look at his brother Logan Paul, you notice a rather significant shift in how he is going about producing content, how he is behaving on social media. It took losing to KSI and accepting defeat after a failed appeal for him to realise he needs to protect his interests. In this, it would be his channel. It would be his podcast, his income, his sponsorships. Repair the image that has long been damaged and tarred by his general jackassery. And it can be argued, based on his subgrowth and view counts, he's doing that. And he's doing a very good job of it. Jake Paul, though, appears to have learnt no lesson whatsoever. And because of that, he is going to continually be called out by the likes of PewDiePie, any major drama reporting channel, even that Mixer streamer Ninja. If Jake Paul wants to improve his image, I'm going to make him some suggestions while he's living for the rest of his life in an ISO cube. You can document it with a camera if you like. Apologise to that midget Asian who started the Black Lives Matter fundraiser. Release all the footage unedited for what you actually did during the protests. Stop baiting, abusing. Stop being obnoxious. Stop destroying property, because you've got a track record for that in your previous Team 10 house. Yes, I pay enough attention to know about that. If you want to change your image and be taken seriously as a creator on YouTube and not some encroacher from the Viner community that simply dumps on the YouTubers and gives them all a bad name, might I recommend you apologise to YouTubers as well? These are just advisory, of course. You can just ignore me because I'm a lowly plebeian. Oik, perhaps, if you know how to spell that. But if you truly care about what you have and prolonging it because you're quite young, might I recommend following your brother's footsteps and letting KSI beat you. As we are done here, I do want to know what you think. I just have to add this as a clarification, this video that is, because of the exhibition of stupid people not aging well 2 hours after I made it live. Public. Live? Both. As a final thing, I'm streaming on Twitch tonight some Euro Truck Simulator 2. Also, this is the final thing, there was an art contest on this channel to win a moist badge that glows in the dark. This is the winner, this came second, this came third. All of them, though, I will be using. This one goes on Moisky Live, having been adapted for it, and Shadow Scarers is now on my Twitter. I believe also on my Minds account. Hope you all have a fantastic Tuesday, and thank you all for listening.